Can't figure out how many times I need to plug it in. Oh, hey everybody. This is Matt from Shadow Moses 112. Coming to you on Super Bowl Sunday for a Super Bowl that like most people don't care about.
It's true.
Yeah. Everyone says it's rigged. I don't care. But for those who don't know, this is a weekly podcast we do where we go over figures, 3D printing, our stuff, because we make basically props for toy photography and just kind of stuff that is, I think it's also just cool to have, because I know like Dan, our friend, wants one of the arcades and stuff. But essentially, we just get together each week to go over recent releases, upcoming releases, things that are posted by other people, and then we just kind of go over it from there. And then sometimes we get sucked into video games or movies or TV shows. I'm the producer of our YouTube stuff, media, whatever you want to call it, and I'm here with Pete.
That was such a long intro. I don't even know what to say. I'm just going to say
oh my
hi.
God, I don't know my name. I'm stupid.
Right?
So Pete is Shadow Moses 112. He's the creator of it.
Yep.
I'm doing the introduction.
We're in the middle of like the house is burning right now. Well, at least I am, because we are printing like crazy, preparing for awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you can see this, but I have like little arcades like splattered all over this place.
I'm slowly amassing, like, I was trying to burn through the rest of my filament without doing another.
Oh, that looks good. Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it came out nicely. Well, here's the soda machine.
Yeah.
There was some stringing in here, but I cleaned it out, so we're good there. Creality Print is a piece of shit program. It like one of the things that I also hate about it is its default adhesion setting is a brim, which is like, hey, you want to have shitty edges to the bottom of your print? Here you go. We're gonna do a brim. We're gonna attach the skirt so that you have to peel off like fucking 8 rings of filament or 3 rings of filament. Like, who the fuck thought of that? I guess for certain things it makes sense, but for it to be the default is a bad setting. I don't know.
Yeah, I use a skirt when I print.
I use a skirt too. Well, I've switched it to a skirt. I'm actually printing lockers right now. I switched over to my white filament. And the first one got fucked up because like Chevy Chase and Community, it got its filament all, I don't know what the fuck happened, but it basically was like a baby who wrapped in its own umbilical cord, and it stopped hitting the what? I thought you said something. I heard something, but I thought you were lagging, and I was like, oh shit. But it was all when I looked at the printer and realized what was happening. It was basically all choked up around the actual thing the spool sits on, and I had to go in and I don't know, it was all fucking like kind of knotted. I fixed it, and like luckily there weren't any huge issues, so it's back to printing again. And aside from the software it comes with, the Ender 3 V3 KE is fucking awesome. Like, it's a champion. Like it's really fast, and that's one of the other reasons that I am sticking with Creality Print is I feel like that software better understands the capabilities of this machine, and I think that at certain points in the print process it actually has different speeds. If you ever go into Creality Print and you're looking at your overall print plan, you can arrange by like the time it's going to spend on each layer or supports or the skirt and whatever different adhesive things. But if you drop down, you could also see the speed that it's doing per layer. And I don't know if it's probably an estimated or calculated speed, but there are differences in the speeds of the layers that it's indicating in the software, which is weird, but whatever. And that's one of the other reasons that I don't really want to take it to Cura, is because if it's actually doing that, that means it's making calculated assessments of how fast it can go, and Cura's just like, well, why did it do one speed? So I don't really know. Someone needs to make an in-depth, either a really good profile for this machine in Cura, or somebody needs to fix Creality Print 3D so it's not a stupid program, because auto supports is another feature that's just what. And like, yeah, this I ended up just putting in my own custom supports. I just put a default one here, and then in this smaller default one here, smaller area, I just put it I put one in, and then I just shrunk it down to like 5 millimeters. And then when I was done printing, I just pulled it out. Because the tree supports were all like, we're gonna go inside and then break the thing, and then I smashed it, and then I had to clean up a mess on my floor. But yeah, aside from that software it comes with, that printer is fucking awesome. And I'm really curious that Creality that I sent you, I feel like that's an effort to be the same thing, although it's way expensive. And if the Cobra Max essentially does all that stuff, that's definitely a better deal. Because the Cobra Max is still on sale. Is that a head itch of shame?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm a little upset that one of my printers isn't working, and I think it's the extruder. It's just not pulling the filament the way it should. And I bought new pieces and replaced it in and out, and tried to see if that would fix it. And it's not. I thought I had it because it was doing a couple layers, but now it looks like it's skipping filament. I told myself I'm going to break it down one last time, and if I can't figure it out, then I think I'm retiring the Ender 3 Max, because I just don't have the patience to deal with anymore.
It's such a pain to tinker with them and get the same issues again and again.
Yeah.
I know that you've been down that road a lot. I don't have the patience to even tinker with them. Although I will say, I ran out of filament towards the end of this thing, and I just see the end of it going down into the extruder. So I paused and yanked that out. And I grabbed the filament that was in my Creality and my other Ender 3, and I put those in to luckily finish off this crate with just enough filament. But in the process of doing so, the Creality CR10, the filament just came out. But I had to completely take the Bowden tube out of the Ender 3 to get it to release the damn filament finally. Actually, no, that's a lie. I pulled that out, and it was still in there, so I had to just clip it. And now there's just, from the little, whatever that red thing is, there's just a bit of filament sticking out of there that I'll just start heating the nozzle and pull it out when it's done and then turn it off. So it's not a real big thing. But when I was dissecting that machine, I was like, well, if I'm ever going to go direct feed, like, this is what I'm going to have to do anyway. So I might as well just fuck the machine up now. So yeah, we'll see what happens there.
I was thinking about that today. I was like, what could Anycubic do better to the Cobra? And the only thing I could think of is better cooling fan in the hot end, and then convert it to a direct drive. But how would they price that? Are they going to add another $400 to it to try to be competitive with Creality? I mean, for that, I'll just go back to the Cobra Max. So, but I really want the K1C. I'm kind of like hoping that my smaller Ender 3 dies too.
Who makes that?
Have an excuse to. That is a Creality also. It's the enclosed one that does the drop down.
Okay, that's a small print area though.
Yeah, it's the same as the Ender 3.
I mean, yeah, there are benefits to having the enclosed space.
Yeah. I was thinking it's great for functional parts. If you tend to print your own printer parts for whatever reason, those are great. Which I probably will. Man, I just don't want to spend the money right now. I think that's the big thing. We just got out of Christmas and New Year's, and then my HOA for the houses work that they hit pretty hard right at the beginning of January, February, and then the bigger one comes in March. So
HOA fees are bullshit.
Yeah, kinda. They are.
No, entirely. HOA.
They do roll up the trash in it, so. And it's one of the lower ones that like I was looking at Arlington and Alexandria's, and there's like 300 a month, 400 a month. Ours is like 100 a month.
HOAs are one of those things that makes me want to like lash out and be violent because it's bullshit.
Yeah. Well,
It's-
you could also dissolve the HOA, but you need community support. So as a community, you guys need to band together and dissolve the HOA.
Well, as a community, look at what benefits you actually get per capita with the amount of money you put into it. And then look at how much it would cost to just get a contract with trash people, like a garbage company, and then people to pave the street, people to clean the streets in the winter and stuff like that. Look up how much that would actually cost if everybody were to chip into that, as opposed to this giant hierarchy of people who think that they're hot shit and then they just make decisions that affect everybody else. And like if someone paints their house red, they're like, no, fuck you, paint it blue, you're paying for it. Like HOAs are bullshit. I get that there are benefits to them because you don't want people being like psychotic, but like one of my old bosses was on an HOA, and this person in their community decided it was better to ask for a forgiveness than permission. So what they did was they either paved or extended their driveway into their front yard and either put down gravel or pavement. And then the HOA said no, made them pay to rip that up and then have their yard again.
Wow.
Like, no, fuck you. Seriously? If I buy a house, I get to say what's like within reason. I get to say what's going on with it. And if I decide that I want to have a 2-car driveway on my fucking house, on my property, then I'm going to do that. I think that asking forgiveness isn't always the best way to go, especially because this is a good example of why you don't do that. But like the fact that they come around and say, no, I don't care if that costs you $3,000, you're undoing it. Like, or there's another actually really good example that I saw on Instagram. This guy has a classic car, and you know how they have like that rust? It's not really rust. It's like the patine. I don't know what it's actually called, but the way that the paint like decays, it's not rusting. It looks kind of like rust, but essentially the paint wears off, and then it gets like this unique tinge to it that a lot of classic cars have. And the HOAs either telling this guy to move out or sell his car. Like, no, fuck you. It's a car, first of all. And second of all, this is something that naturally happens to older cars with that old style with that old painting chemical. Like, either do your research or shut the hell up. Like, it's a guy's car. He didn't paint like obscenities on his fucking front windows or walls and stuff. Like, shut up. We have to look at your stupid kids every day, Barbara, but no one's telling you to get rid of them or move out. Like, shit. There's so many bigger problems in the world for people to try to enact their small, pathetic bit of control or power.
I will say, like, our HOA has been pretty lenient on a lot of stuff. So, like, whatever requests that I put in, they've passed with no problem. I will say,
except for when you had to replace siding on your old house.
So that I was just about to bring that up. I was going to say the only annoying part was I had to replace siding one time, and the colors didn't 100% match up. So my siding is white, and it was just a different shade of white.
And it was a townhouse on the end.
Yeah. So they completely they sent me letters like every once a year. They'll send me a letter, which isn't bad. They sent me one letter for like 3-4 years straight. I had kept on having to remind them like, hey, you already approved this. It's not the same color because they don't manufacture this specific tinge of white anymore. Just leave me the fuck alone. But then they'll get in your ass about like having the garbage bin in front of the house.
Okay, you won that. We're gonna pick a new fight, you dick. Like it's so petty.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure that there are plenty of HOAs that are totally reasonable, that they benefit the community and stuff, but like that should be the general approach of them. Like it should be a bare bones operation. And with the money that they're putting together, they should go throw a goddamn barbecue or something and invite everybody from the community so that there's at least some kickback they're seeing other than like all the passive things that happen throughout the year.
So I'm smiling because they do that. They celebrate Oktoberfest. They have like a winter wonderland. Yeah. They do a bunch of events every year. They even had like this Christmas, they had a fire truck with a Santa go from every street up and down and try to greet the kids that were waiting outside. So that was pretty cool.
Okay, that's cool. Except for Bubble Boys, that's inconsiderate, Bubble Boys.
Oh man!
But
yeah, we're
continuing on-
in HOA's asked too much. Let's move on.
yeah. So I recently received my prune face. I was thinking about doing a video, but I was like, nah, I don't really feel like it. I feel like this is such a figure that nobody cares about. It's a Joe Biden figure, so that's cool.
I think
Honestly,
you should do it anyway.
what?
I think you should do it anyway.
A review?
Yeah, because this little thing with no arms now, and my Devil Toys figure got a pretty decent amount of views. You'd be surprised, like those niche things, like people want to check it out, and you might be the only one with the review on it. So I think you should do it.
Okay, maybe I will. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna want. So one of the reasons I got this figure is because I wanted the suit. His accessories are kind of cool too. Like he comes with guns and grenades and shit. So like he definitely has a cool assortment of accessories. Probably to discipline his son when he goes on weird websites. What is that? What? Holy shit! He comes with a gi. Okay, I'm gonna do a review on this guy.
Prune Face comes with a gi.
Yeah, he comes with a gi and a white belt. It's a black gi. I don't know if you can really see it. The glare on video is terrible. Yeah, I'll have to set some time aside to talk about this little chum. What a weird figure. But
I don't think it's a gi. I think it's an overcoat.
what was that? Maybe that's what it is. And a scarf. That makes sense. Man, I thought he did. I thought Old Man Thanos did karate for a second. I also, honestly,
He does look like Thanos in this.
right? Right? He looks like old bitch Thanos. That is another reason I kind of got him. I was like, he looks like old pasty Thanos. Woo! He's a white grape. So yesterday I didn't send you the one for Elden Ring, and I can't find it online. But Figma just had some releases that they teased. I'm gonna pull this up. Yeah, I'll just pull this up. So you already said you're not gonna get them because you're a super cool edgelord guy.
My link wears green. Okay, as much as I love Tears of the Kingdom,
you haven't played Tears of the Kingdom.
I started it.
You didn't finish Breath of the Wild.
I did finish Breath of the Wild.
Oh, okay.
And their DLC.
I didn't do the DLC, but I heard the DLC was not. I don't care.
So I read that the DLC is kind of like a cheat because it lowers the cool time for all of your abilities if you pass it. So I actually stopped playing the main game just before Ganon, went to do the DLC, and then went in and whipped Ganon's ass because all my shit had like half cooldown.
Ganon was kind of a joke anyway.
Yeah.
I still like it. What?
I still like it. I was more there for like the story and like the experience.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of weird. I enjoy both of these games. I feel like Nintendo is making them too simple, and they're making it too geared towards like a range of people.
Mhm.
I want the classic dungeons that you hit your head against the wall because you can't figure out how to fall through the floors in the right way, and like I want like the ice, like A Link Between Worlds, right, for a Super Nintendo.
Right.
Like that game's, and maybe they were too hard, but like I want more legitimate dungeons. Like Ocarina of Time had good puzzles in the dungeons, like you could do them, but like they required some thought, and like the dungeons in these most recent entries for Zelda are so simple, you can do them in 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. But like the trade-off is that you have all those shrines everywhere. And I would take fewer shrines if it meant more in-depth dungeons. Because like some of the puzzles you see in shrines, you never have to do again. Like it's literally something that you'll do one time to show off the game's engine and different physics capabilities, and then that's it. It's it's kind of a pointless shrine half the time. I don't know. I enjoy the games, but I would like more in depth involvement in certain aspects of it. But anyway,
I was gonna say,
Figma, what?
I think the most fun I had fighting a boss was Borderlands. I want to say it was the pre-sequel. It was the one that was like an alien that you had to fight at the very end. And it wasn't so much that he was difficult. It was kind of a slog, to be honest. But the repetition and the grind, like if you messed up, you were going to die. But if you were on the path, like it was a good half an hour, 45-minute fight. And it's again just keeping at it, trying to make sure like you dodge and try to stay alive and stuff. He was probably one of the most fun bosses I've ever played. It wasn't difficult. It was more of remembering the patterns and trying to
Right.
stay alive.
I can't really think of boss fights that like really stand out as great ones. I know that there are some that I really enjoy. Can't think of anything.
I really enjoyed the Spider-Man 1 fight against Doc Ock. I know it was a quick time event on the side of a building, but I rather enjoyed it because to me it felt final. And
it was a really good arena.
Yeah,
it had good build up and everything, and like that's a decent fight.
Yeah,
I also like that you're basically forced to be in the air the whole time.
Exactly.
Like actually, that game, the Shocker and Electro fight, I thought was good for that reason too. Excuse me, Electro and Vulture. I thought that was also a pretty good fight. And like one of the things about Spider-Man is that aerodynamic, that like aerial combat aspect, and like they really made that a nice focal point. Spider-Man 2 actually has some decent boss fights in it, but it also has some that make you want to fucking break your controller. But you don't know about those yet, so
it'll be a while.
Yeah, it would. Honestly, Spider-Man 1 was a better game. Spider-Man 2 is good, but it does some weird things, and then I feel like those actually kind of keep it from reaching its potential. And then the suits aspect of it just goes fucking dumb. Like they bragged about how many suits there are in the game. One, most of the suits are kind of dumb, and then two, the number of suits, whatever base number it is only multiplied by 4 because you could do different shaders on them. Okay. And like that's, I don't know, it's kind of a joke.
Yeah. I don't care about suits, honestly. I just I really liked the comic one that had the cell shading at the very end of the first Spider-Man.
Okay.
And between that and Boxer's Spider-Man.
I don't know. I think that I honestly really enjoyed some of the suits from the first one. The second one has some of those come back, but then there are other ones that I'm just like, why? Anyway, back to suits. This Link wears blue. I think this figure looks great. I really like Figma. I know that Figma kind of is in its own scale, kind of import, but also a little flexible on that. But I honestly, I really like the way Figma does accessories and the way that they kind of figure out how to implement different features. Like the swords, rather than trying to get the hand to bend or anything like that, the sword actually comes apart so that you can insert the hilt into that and then put the rest of it onto that actual little peg. And then the same thing with the shield. And I don't think I have them anymore, but I used to have the Avengers from Figma. I still have the Hulk, even though his neck peg broke. They actually had like the faceplate come off so you could put a different eye set in there so that he could be looking in a different direction. And it's kind of a weird thing at like a 6-inch scale, but it was just a cool system that they had. The Hulk actually has 2 little pegs behind his eyes, so you could like arrange change his eye direction. It's kind of pointless, and I wish that there was something that would lock them into place so that they're always like parallel, because you could actually make him cross his eyes if you wanted to. Hot Toys kind of does the same thing. Although some of the Hot Toys figures have like uh something on the back of the head. I think the back of that, like the hairpiece or the back of the helmet, might come off, and there might be something that you roll to like move the eyes, but I can't remember. That might also have been the Queen Studios In Art Joker, which was a terrible figure. I'm way too expensive to be a terrible figure. But anyway,
This guy
this
looks
guy
good.
was good. What?
I was gonna say this guy does look good. The thing I noticed though was I sent you. I think I told you I had the Skyward Sword link, and that was good for me. But I noticed that they reused the shield and the sword and the sheath,
Yeah,
which is
I
I
don't
guess
know.
fine, right?
Is what?
It's fine, but they could always go for the art style too, so that's a little bit of reuse.
Okay.
Is there a back shot? Because I can tell he probably has a glider on his back and some arrows.
Yeah, he has arrows right there.
Yeah.
There's no back shot. I was trying to find more pictures of him, but like Paternia on their Instagram, they have pictures, but I didn't log into my Instagram on my computer. Although I don't even know if they have more pictures of him on that. Let me see real quick.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, also, I was looking at that 5K Toys. I want to say it's a Chinese villain of the lion, the humanoid lion. I have some.
Okay, yeah.
I have some ideas to make him look like a Lionel in a shot with Link. So that'd be pretty cool. Plus, I also have the Warhammer blue. I don't know what their name is. I'm not really a Warhammer guy, but I have the blue soldiers, and I popped off. I popped off the helmets and put horned knight helmets, so they look like the Link Blue Knights.
I can't find it right now. Although apparently Revoltech is doing. What is the woman's name from the female main character from Nightmare Before Christmas?
Jane?
I don't know why I don't just scroll up. Her name's there. Sally. So Revoltech is doing a Sally figure.
Okay. They just did a re-release of Jack like last year or something like that.
Okay,
Right?
that makes sense. Man,
this looks really good though. This Link, the more and more I look at it, the more and more I want it. So if you don't mind scrolling down, that'd be fantastic.
So, and then we get this is Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf. Let me make that the full picture.
That's a good game.
I'm glad that we finally got like a human form of Ganon. I think that's pretty cool. And then I'm kind of curious how the story works out if there's time travel and stuff inside this game, and I'm wondering if this Ganon somehow predates Calamity Ganon. I don't know though. Well, yeah, he must. What the fuck, Instagram? Jesus. So yeah, this looks pretty good. This one feels really stylized in like the thighs and the hips, but I think that is actually representative of the art style that they use in the game. One of my friends doesn't care for Figma because of the joints, and like you can really see them here. But again, I love the work that Figma's been doing on these figures, so I'm there for it.
Man, the only thing that's going to save me from buying this is if the Jack's World of Nintendo drops one.
And then eventually they are doing a Zelda figure.
Yeah. She looks okay. I prefer that that Ocarina of Time look, that all white.
I'm really hoping that they'll do a remake of Ocarina of Time, and that we'll get some figures off that, especially Ganon at the end. Because wait, this is
he looks exactly similar to that Ganon.
Yeah, no, he's a lot slimmer.
Yeah. I'm saying facial wise, Ganondorf
Ganondorf we keep calling him Ganon. But Ganondorf does have pretty much a consistent face in most of the human representations of him. Then you get to the Ganon side, and like he looks all kinds of different. Like usually a pig kind of look, monster pig appearance. I don't know what the fuck. Okay, really don't care about that. But yeah. And then they also announced that they're doing an Elden Ring, I can't remember the name of it, the horse thing that you ride on. I couldn't find a picture of that online, but Elden Ring is doing a figure of that. And I don't honestly know what other figures Figma put out for Elden Ring because Google is just not helping me out. I also keep mixing up. So they're doing Bloody Wolf, but like I can't find. Oh wait, maybe here. Oh, Anglais, por favor.
Torrent the Spectre.
Torrent, yes. Thank you.
Sure, I'll send you the.
I'm on. Is it on Figma's website?
It is on. Damn it. No, it's on Twitter. The one I'm looking at specifically is on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm not logged into Twitter on this browser.
Twatter. Yeah, Figma Torrent from Elden Ring.
They're doing this guy though.
Oh shit! From Death Stranding.
Yep. Actually, can we get to?
It's an interesting choice because the second one's coming soon, right?
Well, they did. What's his name? Jack.
Oh yeah.
They did him, and then we also have. This is the Bloody Wolf from Elden Ring. Like, he looks so cool. This is Demon Souls, I think. Yeah, Maiden in Black from Demon Souls. I've never gotten far enough in that game to know if she does anything other than sit at the hub world. But let me move that real fast.
We're also talking about a 5K, showing off some teases.
Yeah, if you want to send me that link as well, I'll pull that up.
It was on Instagram.
Okay.
I share that part. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick.
I'm pulling up Torrent right now. And I'm probably going to have to get this as well. And that's Bloody Wolf, actually. One thing that's kind of a bummer about doing figures from the Souls games is that you can customize your figure so much in terms of what they wear and everything. Like, kind of like Skyrim, I guess. But, like, you can never actually see your character in physical form because there's so many different options for outfits and helmets and swords and shit. Torrent looks pretty good though. I have Figma horses, but I've never actually opened them because they went right to storage.
Yeah. I got the Four Horsemen Studio horse.
I have that one also. It's a fucking monster.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it. There's another one I got too. I think it was the McFarland horse that came with The Witcher.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't a bad alternative.
What is his name? I know that horse's name.
I don't know. It's probably like Flea something. I don't know.
Abernathy.
Roach.
Yeah, that's it. I knew it wasn't Abernathy.
You were close.
Yeah. My next guess was Benedict. But yeah, this looks cool. I'm there for it. I'm interested. Let's stop sharing the screen. Actually, I'm going to bring it back up because something else that recently came out for pre-order is the 3.0 Mega Man. Just after we were talking about everything Jada's doing, we have this Mega Man, and he is partially made from diecast. And also, to make things even more interesting, he's an MDLX figure, which means because the MDLX line of Transformers are roughly a 6-inch scale. The DLX line of the Marvel figures, which is basically just fucking Iron Man, is a 6-inch scale. This guy's 4 inches. So what is going on with their scaling system?
4 inches. 4 inches about right. This is about a 4-inch Mega Man.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not a bad size. I'm more so just picking on them for their weird moniker or categorization of figure scales. At least he's not a 2.5-inch figure,
Yeah.
but like
'Cause
4-inch scale, I think works, and I think that's probably the same size as Jada Toys' line. Wait, here's another one. Oh, this is soft vinyl, so this is not a figure. This is
Luca.
in all honesty. So yeah, let's look at Iceman real quick. So he's 112. Yeah, so this will scale with the Jada Toys line, which is also like, what's going on here? They're just directly trying to compete with them, or what?
Well, I just got charged for those, so hopefully I'll have them in hand and do a review for them soon.
So that makes me really curious because the 301 is $40. Well, even Iceman is $20. Where are you? 1/12 scale should be in here. Oh, he's sold out. So yeah, we have a $20 Mega Man figure, or we have a $30 or a $40 figure.
I will say I think I paid 40 or 50 for this one, and then it came.
Which one is that?
Came with I can't.
Does he articulate?
Yeah. Oh,
Is it Revoltech maybe?
Nah.
Is it Figma?
This would have been an 8-inch figure if it was Revoltech.
Is it Figma?
It might be Figma.
What do his joints look like? Does he have big old ball joints?
No, it looks like a straw right in between his knee, right there.
I can't see it.
They're pretty well hidden. Although there is a swappable faceplate. He came with the blast effect.
Interesting.
Yep. He has, let me see, an alternative blaster. Don't know why he would have two, but
The camera's not up there, bud.
Oh, sorry. He's got two of them right here.
Oh, okay.
And then has two open hands, one fisted hand. That's no, two fisted hands. Sorry. And then 3 face plates. So teeth grit, yelling, and neutral.
So the Jada comes with this. And then that's it for the 301.
Yeah, Jada looks awesome. Oh, he's got the energy packet. That's cool.
The 301 is partially diecast, though. Not really necessary.
Yeah.
I feel with some figures, like Iron Man figures, I love having diecast. I won't lie. But like 3-0 is putting out a Black Panther figure, and it's diecast.
Is it really?
Yeah. I was thinking that the 3-0 line would be soft goods, would have soft goods. I thought it would be something to compete with Mezco. And I was excited about that because they were doing MCU versions. What's up, Layla? They were doing she's on your other side, I think. They were doing MCU versions of things, whereas Mezco does typically go comic style. They kind of dabble here and there with MCU stuff, but I like having that variety. So I was excited when 3-0 started announcing they were doing MCU because the Iron Man figures are awesome, but the Black Panther is diecast. And then the Ant-Man, I'm guessing that they're eventually doing is going to be diecast. I'm like, what? Stop.
Yeah, that's a weird stylistic choice.
Yeah. Like, Beast Kingdom. There's that one studio that made really shitty action figures, and then they kind of fixed everything. I'm not talking about Mafex. It was the one thing I hate about Beast Kingdom is that they're 8-inch scales. I'm pretty sure it's Beast Kingdom. An 8-inch scale is just fucking dumb. Yeah.
It depends on what they're making. What are they making with those?
This is gonna be die cast. No, it's not. They originally started out. Well, that means they're learning. Originally, this figure was gonna be like the first time they released the Batman, because I had it. It was a die cast figure. It was an 8-inch figure, and he's just Batman in the suit, like not anything special. If he was in the armored suit, like in Batman vs Superman, makes sense. But if he's just wearing fabric, he's like, think I'm magnetic. Like, what are you fucking doing? Clowns.
Does he have like, because both of those arms look very 90-degree, does he bend more than that?
Probably not.
Oof.
I bought the figures one time. I got rid of them because they were that bad. I think that they've course corrected, but I don't know for certain. And it's an 8.25 inch figure. It looks like it might have a double jointed elbow in there. It's hard to tell.
None of their promo shots are showing it.
Not all of them.
Oh.
Let me see if Aquaman does anything more.
Hey, stop that cab. Stop that cab. Hold up.
What?
Looks like he's holding up a cab. Right.
I was like, what did I do?
Cab.
Yeah, it looks like he's double jointed. Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Probably not much more than that. But like the figure doesn't look terrible, but what scale is that? Even McFarlane's like, you're joking. This is a $200 figure and it's 8 inches. So yeah, all these things, all of the things. Right now I have the red, white, and blue locker printing out. So the bottom layer is red, then it goes white, and then blue. So the door is also going to be actually the door I'm printing upright so that the bottom is red, then white, and then blue. When you replied to my message yesterday, I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, I was thinking, like, picturing a spool with filament that was red, white, and blue. And then I looked at the notes and I'm like, oh. For some reason, I thought you only printed them out in gray. But yeah.
What's funny is when you mentioned gray, I was like, how come I never thought about printing them in gray? It's because I always had like the mindset of making it like school lockers.
Yeah. Well, mine were blue in high school, so yeah.
Yeah, not military lockers. But
yeah.
Because mine were red in high school.
Actually, my rival, so we were the Panthers. Our rivals were the Cardinals, so theirs were all red and shit. And we were in the same school district.
The Blue Panthers.
After 9/11, so many people moved out of New York and into like the Poconos and shit because they're cheaper housing. And all those houses are falling apart now because they were built by a stupid company that basically built houses that look decent and were sold cheap but don't last. And then they dissolved the company and everything. So yeah. You pick up anything lately? I have all this stuff in my pile of loot. I'm waiting to ship. I'm
waiting for the 3 Mega Man figures to ship. And
okay.
Then I had got charged for Green Goblin, so I'm waiting on him to ship too.
Maybe I pre-ordered him through Mezco, but I haven't heard anything there. And actually, I reached out to Mezco about my Bartolomeo not shipping, and they just really backed up. And I was like, okay, cool, no problem. I just want to make sure it wasn't lost.
Yeah.
And
I don't see why like companies aren't more transparent. Like, hey, we're back.
I mean, seriously, like the fact that that was their reply, I was like, that's fine. I get it. We're still not long after the holidays. Like, I'm not going to lose my shit.
You're a grown adult company. Communicate.
Yeah, I'm not going to, like, if you give me an honest answer like that, I'm not going to threaten legal action against you because that's insane.
What was I going to say? I will say 5K Toys reached out to me, I want to say Monday,
Yeah.
and they asked if I could provide pictures of the breakage, and then they offered to replace this figure that I said don't buy. So that's pretty cool. The thing is, they said that they would have to send the evidence over to the company that
Right.
makes the figure, and if they are to send out a replacement, it'll take about a month. And I completely understand that. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting anything, honestly, but that's pretty cool. Though. So thank you, 5K.
When I had an issue with Big Bad Toy Store, I ordered a Daredevil. I don't order many Marvel Legends at all, but it was a Daredevil figure that I liked. And when I got him, his leg was just so warped inside of the plastic. Like it was like completely dog-legged. It was broken. And I emailed them and they were like, "Can you send us a picture?" And I said, "Sure." And I sent them a picture and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can." And they gave me like a label to send that back because they get to write it off as a damaged product so that Hasbro will reimburse them whatever they paid for it or whatever. But like, yeah, like no issue. Like Big Bad Toy Store is awesome. And I've talked about Mezco in the past where they didn't ship something or it didn't arrive or they shipped one of when I ordered two. Mezco is awesome and their support. Like, yeah. They, I really haven't had bad customer experience with any of these companies.
I don't get why they made the Black Void Red Knight version so limited.
What?
The Mezco Gomez Red Knight.
You said you get why they did that, or you hate
don't
that?
Get why they did that.
It's exclusive.
Yeah, but it's like their version of Star Wars, and people have been clamoring it for it.
I know.
So
well, maybe they'll do a re-release of him, or maybe he'll come with his own mech suit down the road, which would be weird and wouldn't fit actually. I don't know. I'm hoping my waitlist will convert.
So
I've had a few waitlist converts, a few waitlisted items convert, and I'm really just hoping that happens because I don't want to pay an arm and a leg for the figure. And honestly, I'll also wait for the market to calm the fuck down before I do it, because like the that one Red Ninja Gomez that I gave you for your birthday, like I got that at a really good price from somebody in the Mezco Facebook group. Like, dude was awesome. Sold it to me at a really good price. Same with the golden one. Like, I don't know. People aren't terrible. What was the 5K toys item you were talking about?
I have my screen ready to share if you want to.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me. Oh, I didn't see it down there. Okay.
So what we have, what they've been pushing a lot is this Wukong figure.
Mm-hmm.
This is the lion figure that I was talking about getting. I think it would make a great Lionel if you position it right. He's about a 9 to 10 inch figure on top of that. The thing about the Wukong figure looks fantastic. The thing is, I'm very happy with the more homey version that I want to say Noda put out.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I saw these drop as far as a pre-order. They kind of look like plunderlings, but like.
Is that the cyan lion you were talking about?
The who?
The lion you said would be a good Lionel?
Yeah. This one.
He's on Big Bad Toy Store also.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. And then there's one with him in it's a blood version.
Man, it looks so good though.
Don't look up Noda Collectibles on Big Bad Toy Store though, because they have more samurai stuff.
But this is what we were talking about, that they had dropped 2 hours before. So we've been on this for 45 minutes. They dropped it like right before we jumped on.
Yeah, the Tears of the Sun line, which is so strange.
So they got this Akira line coming out. There was more pictures of this I saw, but yeah, the Tears of the Sun line, you can tell that's Bruce Willis, Mark Wahlberg, I guess.
He can't tell that's Bruce Willis.
That's fucked up. I might be interested in these depending on the price point. I'm always down for like random soldiers.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie. I don't know anything about the movie.
Who's making them?
I would probably say these look like shit. I don't know.
Oh, Crazy Figures.
If it's in order, yeah, then it's crazy figure.
Well, I'm looking at the comment.
And then Bro Toys right here. Ninja Gaiden.
I get what you're saying.
That's Ryu Hayabusa, right?
Yeah, I was so bad at that game. I think the game's kind of impossible, but I'm so bad at it anyway.
Where did I see more pictures of these? I just saw somebody else share them. Maybe if I can click here. Somebody had shared, I think it was Toy Migos.
I'm pulling that down while you're searching just in case. Curious.
Yeah, here it is.
You good?
Yep. So they had the Kaneda figure up.
Yeah, I think I might have seen those pictures too, actually.
I'm a little surprised they went with a little bit more realism for the face, but I'm okay with that. Now, I thought this was a cool picture because they like blatantly left this area open. And there was another one too where he's like off to the side. Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
There's clearly supposed to be a bike here. Like, why would you do that? You're teasing me. I know this. It's Sacred Toys. There it is.
Okay. I get so nervous with all these small studios that pop up. Some of them do really good work, but like some of them just.
It's interesting that it says Mezco on the bottom.
What this?
It says Mezco right here.
Weird.
Very. Let's see. Sacred Toys.
Why does he look kind of like your son?
My son's cool. My son alone.
I wasn't making fun of him.
He better not be.
No. Little dork.
Yeah, but this Akira figure is a day one for me. That's a definite pre-order.
I'm not into anime at all.
What's the age? So like everything I grew up with, I want. So like the Ronin Warrior, Sailor Moon, Akira.
So yeah,
I didn't see Ninja Scroll, although I heard that's very good. And whoever's screaming at this video off that comment, I apologize.
So yeah, it's on Big Bad Toy Store, and then just to tease you a little bit, we have these other ninja figure or samurai figures.
Oh, I have them all already.
Oh, you have those? Okay.
It looks like they did like the versions powered down and then powered up. And they're selling them separately.
Oh, I do remember this figure. This is not my type of figure.
Nah.
I just don't care for that art style. Okay. So yeah. Bam. Who you rooting for the Super Bowl?
I guess the Niners.
Yeah, I could see that.
And this is no offense, or this isn't a way to gatekeep Taylor Swift from football. Like, good for her that she likes football and she's bringing more attention to it. But I don't like how like the NFL has been like using her as a cash grab to like bring more viewership into the Super Bowl and football in general. And then I like Travis Kelce, but I also think now like, all right, I see you too much now. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, the fact that they're using this story to promote themselves. Yeah, that's a really interesting point.
Yeah,
because you know that there's a marketing guy that's like, no, we have to involve Taylor Swift because all these stupid little fucking girls that like love Taylor Swift. I'm sorry, I don't mean to call them stupid fucking girls, but like all these people that normally wouldn't care about football, they're like, oh, Taylor Swift's gonna be there. Like, then they're watching specifically to see her for 30 seconds. And conversely, I think it's a lot of stupid fucking people who get really upset that Taylor Swift's there for 30 seconds. Like, I've seen so much stuff about it on Facebook. like I'm not even on Facebook that much, but almost every day that I do something on there, I see something about people like having the people basically saying like all these guys complaining about Taylor Swift being on their sports program are saying like you are unimportant. And like I think there's some validity to that, but like I also think that anyone who like people are just so insensitive, so sensitive, and also so insensitive. We're touchy to the wrong things. And I don't know. Anyway.
What was I going to say? People are making jokes about how the script leaked for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I
I was going to joke about that at the beginning, saying it's all staged anyway.
Yeah.
Because like, and people are leaning into that hardcore because there was something that somebody made a celebration cake and like it had, or it was before the Super Bowl was even determined. It was like during the division championships, and someone had made a cake that had 49ers and Chiefs on it, and I'm just like, it's a cake. Like you could go to any bakery and have and make them. You can have a cake, have them make a cake that says 76 Dolphins versus 2022 Eagles if you wanted to. Like, fuck, it's completely fabricated thing. And yeah, so many people are insane. Never mind the fact that we have AI now, which you can use to screw and mess with so many different things. What's this?
What is it?
I don't know. Do you want me to share that?
Yeah, sure.
Hold on. Mute the audio on that thing. Okay.
Shadow cam. But what were we talking about? They said that the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be by 3 points. And then after the game, Kelsey is going to propose to Taylor Swift.
You saw the same video I did.
And the Republicans are losing their mind because they think that she's going to come out and show support for Joe Biden.
Oh, so now not only is it an NFL marketing thing, but it's going to be a huge political thing too. And like, who's doing a halftime show this year?
Usher.
Usher?
Usher. Yeah.
It's getting hot in here, so keep that body in. Like,
that's Nelly.
They're all the same.
No.
They're all the same crappy musicians.
No.
Unless they're going, I don't care. You don't even know who does that. That's Vitalism. Shout out Vitalism. Shout out to Vitalism all the way down in Brazil, who will never watch this or know it existed, but they're fucking awesome gent musicians. Such a great fucking band. I don't listen to a lot of instrumental stuff, but Vitalism is so good. But yeah, I'm not even gonna watch the game. I don't have a way of watching it or care enough to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
always a way. You can just open your blinds up and peek into your neighbor's house.
The neighbors are so far. I don't have binoculars. Like, look. You can't see them. Their blinds are closed too. What?
I said, son.
I will say I'm kind of working on a little surprise project that you don't even know about. Maybe in time for, well, hopefully the idea is to have it ready in time for AwesomeCon, but we will see. And then before I disclose on the stream, I'll talk to you about it. But I saw a post the other day that made me think, like, there's no reason that we don't have that right now. Okay. Well, there are a few reasons we probably don't have it right now, but
I think about that all the time. I'm like, fuck, man. If I wasn't so busy with X, I would be working on X. And then I'm like, well, I already lined up my next 3 projects, so
yeah,
I'll get to it when I get to it.
You see, I'm notorious for dropping one thing and moving on to the next, or having plans to start one and never doing it, and then moving on to the next.
Yeah.
Yep. But I guess so. What?
So that could be a good segue to talk about what we just did today.
Well, real quick, I do get very nervous when I hear filament like settle, especially after seeing it all wrapped around its thing. Like, I always like, what's going wrong with the printer? But what's the segue besides something you write on? Yeah.
So we can look at this real quick. This is actually the finished driving arcade screen, or one of the two. And I posted a video on Instagram, but in case you're too busy here with us watching, or we got lost in the feed, you could actually see that we had finished the driving arcade.
Yeah.
And this is the other screen that'll come with it.
It's good.
Man, it does look so good.
It looks really
Everything
good.
looks so good. Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, I really like how this came out, and thank you guys for your patience and watching the trial and error as we went along.
Yep.
But this
isn't a perfect replica. There are still some things that need to be fixed on it, but for the most part, this
I will
is
not point those out right now because that is none of your business. You let me fix those things. But the chairs do slide, so the chair moves back and forth. And as I mentioned, that the base also moves back and forth. And that's to basically help with curving the knee so that you could hit the pedal. And there are 3 pedals here. Then this is a magnetic steering wheel, so this pops off. You can put that in the hands, and once you get a comfortable range, this column is about over like 3/4 of an inch long, so you can slide this in and out to adjust for the arm height for the character. There is a button that I need to put right here that I haven't designed yet, but I am super happy with how the artwork came out, and we went back and kind of redid some things so that we can make sure it looks nice and clean all the way around. But that is very cool. Here's your first look. The way we do the screens typically still applies here. So really, you just have to tilt it forward. And there's a cavity right there. And then the weight of the screen will lean up against the part there. And you just push it against, and it holds up just fine.
nice.
Yeah. How cool is that? How cool is that?
Very cool. Nice to see it come to fruition.
Right? I feel like we've been talking about it for 3 months, and now it's finally done.
It's been a little while, but like it was an entirely new thing, and they take time.
It's more humbling to think about. When I first started selling arcades like 3 years ago, somebody asked if I could do a driving arcade, and I got super intimidated by it. And I was like, no, I don't think we'll ever put out a driving arcade. And then we had a client recently purchased like 2 or 3 arcades from us. And then he messaged me on the side, said that, he really enjoyed them and was wondering if we would ever do a driving arcade. And it's funny how just the 3-year time difference made me reconsider, like, well, I think I have the knowledge to tackle a project like this now,
Yeah. Hey Bogart, thanks for coming in the chat. I personally don't customize figures. I don't even think I get to the point of kit bashing them yet. We'll see what happens with Old Man Pruneface. But you actually customize figures, don't you?
I have, but I learned my lesson a little bit because I just figured out that if you're patient enough, the figure will come. I recently did a Ghost Rider that I shared on live, about a month ago. We used the Marvel Legends head. We used either a Noda body or one of the V-Toys bodies, a smaller, slimmer bucks. And then we got some clothes off of GP lot on eBay that turned into my more casual Ghost Rider. I didn't want the full leather garb. I wanted like a more versatile Ghost Rider that could fit in different situations. So that's what I just worked on. But in the past, I have went full in and like sanded figures down and took them apart.
Well, yeah, because you made your Hank Pym. I remember that.
Yeah, I made my sister into a superhero using a wasp body and a repainted head. I wonder how that figure held up.
And then a little Ziploc bag of something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man, I forgot about that. Yeah. But So
Yeah, that
customizing,
was her gift at your wedding.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say customization now has been more laid back. So like the Sentinel Miles Morales figure, the customization there, we went ahead and did a custom neck peg to bump up a millimeter or two for the head to be able to uh, look more proportionate. They weren't utilizing the neck correctly, and it sat very low. So we modified that.
How's that Resi 1 peg holding up?
It's great. I finally put the figure away last week after messing with it over 100 times, like taking that head off, swapping heads, trying different stuff out. I was going to do something along the lines of maybe making new pegs for this figure, but now that I know I'm getting another one, I'm not going to touch that one. I'm just going to
Yeah. I was also thinking, I was thinking that Bogart 213 did customs, but they actually do dios. They've recently followed me on Instagram. They actually do dioramas. They do good work. You can find them at Bogart 213 on Instagram and check them out if you wanted to see some of their work, because he does a pretty good job with this stuff.
Actually, that's probably the next project we're going to be working on as well. We're going to be trying to design like a 3D printed diorama in the style of like the old school Palisade set. I got what's that?
Kind of for people who don't want to take the time to make them out of foam, because people do amazing things with foam. Honestly, foam is so messy, and I live in an apartment. I don't have, like, it's bad enough when I smash a 3D print on the ground. I don't have time to clean up everything. No problem, Bogart. I don't have time to clean up all the dust from foam, or if I'm sanding 3D printed shit down, I don't have time to clean all that stuff up. So yeah, I think that this is a good alternative for people who don't have the patience, time, or ability to maintain all of that. And then foam is also really fragile. And I think that what we're looking at doing will be something that's a nice way to give you an alternative, have a nice diorama without needing to make that mess, and having versatility to it also.
Versatility, yeah, definitely. Definitely. The reason for that is I used to do dioramas a lot when we first started, and a lot of them chip over time. Even when I sealed it with either Mod Podge or a Krylon type sealant. But also that and I have kids, so they tend to like wreck stuff too.
Yeah, I know eventually I would like to get a cat, and I know that the cat's gonna fuck shit up.
Oh yeah. So the approach that we're thinking to for dioramas is going to be a much modular piece. We're planning on doing, I think we talked about dimensions, a 3x9 wall, but when you put them together, they form a 9x9 like wall that you could use. We want to make it modular, so you could maybe take a piece out, put a window piece in the middle, and then it'll sit on a base where it'll have a floor that has a similar 3x9 setup. And then you could choose to do wood or tile or larger slate pieces. So it'll be a versatile set for like your photography or your playing. But we're trying to design it so if you bought, like, let's say 2 or 3 bases, that you could line them up and then create this larger play area with a, completely customized floor and different walls for each setting if you wanted to take that approach. And I know that I want to revisit some of the Star Wars stuff I worked on in the past, which reminds me, I got to remove that from the store because I want to recreate, using that same technology, Star Wars dioramas, or I shouldn't say Star Wars, but sci-fi space style.
Yes, like Space Treks or something.
Yeah, Star Trek.
Space battles.
Can't say that.
War Battle Galactica.
Trek Wars.
Trek Wars. Yeah, I'm excited for stuff like that down the road. It's just time sucks.
Yeah,
I'm literally gonna take time off one of these periods of time and space, and I'm gonna do a staycation, and I'm just gonna sit. I'm gonna sleep for 2 of the days, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I'm gonna do things now, and like, it sucks when your general burnout carries over into your hobbies. So in the end, you just sit on your couch playing like fucking Arkham Knight for the third time or something like that.
Yeah, no.
Which is a great game. I just finished it again last night. I took a break from Metal Gear Solid because I'm like, it's not even finished, and I'm playing this game.
Yeah, I still got to finish Last of Us.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah, I haven't played it since I got to the school, so I need to get in there. I'm not even inside the school. I'm still outside the school where the buses
You're
are
still really early in the game. Well, you're not really early in the game, but you're not very far in it. But I'm glad that you picked it back up and that you're enjoying it more. The PS5 version is amazing.
Yeah, I think this is meeting my expectations more than the first time I played it. And I don't know if playing it the first time helped those expectations to be lax a little bit more. But yeah, because the gameplay is still the same, let's be honest.
You also don't typically play survival horrors.
I used to.
And but the other difference is this is kind of a survival horror, but like the other survival horrors you played were like Resident Evil, where your enemies don't have guns. In The Last of Us, some of your enemies have guns, but they have like 2 rounds of ammo after shooting 30 rounds of ammo at you.
Yeah.
And like I understand that criticism, but I'm also like, well, they can't make you an overpowered warlord. And honestly, I'll play grounded difficulty, and by the end of the game, I am still an overpowered warlord. And like in The Last of Us Part 2, at the end of the game, I'm like, well, I have all this ammo and gear. I'm just gonna fuck these guys up. I'm just gonna go buck wild. I'm gonna launch explosive arrows at them. I'm gonna set up booby traps. Like I'm gonna do all this stuff because I saved the entire game for this moment.
Yeah, that's one thing I would like to see, like in the future. Like, yeah, your ammo is sparse, and maybe they have more ammo than you, but they can still run out, forcing it into a hand-to-hand combat situation.
It would be kind of cool to see that, honestly, because one of the dynamics of that AI is when you run out of ammo and you try to shoot them, but like nothing happens, they know that you're out of ammo. And it would be nice to see that happen the other way.
Yeah.
Like where like they're just shooting at you and they're like this, because then you know, like, okay, I could go in. But the problem is people will just do a war of attrition where they'll just force it to come to hand-in-hand combat. And then that takes another step to program the AI to be conservative of ammo. And there's a weird give and take there. And it's easier for the AI just to be the aggressive one rather than to try and understand how people are going to try and take advantage and exploit that limited judgment. So like, I get what you're saying. I think it would be awesome if they found a way to do that, but it's hard to balance that because the game has no sense of time or real it doesn't have any kind of sense of expediency outside of the player's desire to play at their own pace. That maybe if you're sitting there waiting too long, they'll call in reinforcements or something. There has to be something else that makes it so that you can't just sit and wait out every gunfight for them to burn through their ammo and you just go up and swing a bat and kill them. You know what I mean?
But no, I think the idea there is to make them equally as aggressive. So once they realize that they run out of ammo, make them pick up a bat and try to run at you too. And them being a formidable foe. So like, yeah, quick time events that are like maybe smaller windows to make it feel more not realistic, but more competitive. So you're not just like overpowering them. And
I guess because that's also a valid point, because if you kept doing that, eventually you're going to run out of ammo because you're not killing enemies with ammo. And like, especially because you really don't find much ammunition in that game. Yeah, you're right, because you can starve them out and force them to go hand to hand and just shoot them when they're on their way. But you're going to run out of ammo if you do that, especially if they arrange the game appropriately, or they look at ammo reserves elsewhere in the game that you would find in the wild to kind of compensate for that. And if you're not finding ammo, and Resident Evil 4 actually kind of changed the game with like a basic, I don't know that it's AI, but they scripted enemy drops based on how the characters are playing. So like the more ammo
I was actually just going to say that. I was thinking like, all right, well, if they run out of ammo, that means that if you kill them, they have no ammo for you to pick up.
Well, right, but like Resident Evil 4, because you're using ammo against enemies that don't use guns, the game reacts to your playstyle by having enemies drop ammo when they die. Like
Okay.
even if it's just I forget what they're called, but even if it's just like a basic enemy that has a pitchfork, they'll drop ammunition when they die because the game is making an assessment of how you play, and they see that you need to maintain ammo reserves at least enough to
Right.
survive through that encounter. And if they do something like that on the next level where the world and what spawns in it adapts to your play style, then they can be even more successful in doing that in a system where the enemies run out of ammunition, because then the world can passively restore your ammo if you find it, or if you're doing that and you're just killing all the enemies that have ammo without them shooting any of it, then the world doesn't have to restock your ammo, and it could be either a different, like a crafting item in that spot, or it could just be not there. And what else is weird about the Last of Us community is people doing runs. I've seen people actually take like a notepad and document where they find a round, like a pistol round, or where they find a piece of a handkerchief to make a Molotov, and they'll document it so that when they're doing their grounded permadeath run, they know where they're going to do this, and then they know to use a Molotov on this group of enemies at that time so that they can run around. Like
Wow.
I, yeah, I think I personally I don't really like that programmatic style of playing for myself. I understand that grounded is really fucking hard, and a permadeath run makes it that much harder, especially when The Last of Us Part Two it's an 8-hour game. So that's after you. Well, no, you can. I do an 8-hour run, but the first time I played the game, it was a 25-hour experience. And it's just, yeah, there's all different computations and stuff that go into it. So I don't know. I'm rambling. But glad you picked up the game. It's a lot of fun. I'm interested in their space IP, although my coworker says that they're working on Last of Us Part 3, and I'm like, no, they're not. But
I could have sworn Neil Druckmann said something recently that he was working on a third one.
He has plans for it. He has it like written out. He's had it written out for a while, but they're not working. They're not doing formal. My understanding is they're not doing any formal work on that until after this next IP comes out, because they want to prioritize that. And he's probably going to be doing a lot of tinkering and everything, because I think the next Last of Us game will be the last of at least these characters. I really want to see more of that world, because I think it's a waste to have a world with, like, Fallout is a good example. Like, if you had just one Fallout game, it's such a waste of this really interesting post-apocalyptic society, and to just see one character's story in that world is kind of a waste. Like, it's a world full of possibilities, and I like to see all those things play out. And I think that, like, Horizon actually is a really good example to point to, because the Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West games have a really interesting game world, but you're just seeing Aloy's story. They actually released or are releasing a VR game that plays that's a completely separate character, and I kind of like to see their adventures and whatnot in the world, so that you're getting a different perspective. Maybe it's a different region of America, or it's over in Europe, and you're just seeing an entirely new piece of that world. Like, I don't know. I think it's really interesting to have that option, if that makes any sense at all. Like, if we only got one Star Wars movie, we're wasting all that lore and shit. And, like, that's why they keep milking what they can out of the Star Wars universe. And I get it. I wish it was more interesting or better for me particularly, but people are enjoying it, so whatever. Like, but get the most out of that world without compromising that world.
Yeah, I think Star Wars is doing something weird where the movies aren't really that enjoyable, but the shows are really freaking good. Well, I wouldn't say really good, but they really expound the lore in a way where you actually give a shit. Let me say it.
Yeah.
Like that.
I'm glad Rian Johnson didn't get another. They were talking about Rian Johnson getting his own Star Wars trilogy, but The Last Jedi was such a terrible movie, so I'm glad that he didn't. And I know Dan was on our stream a few weeks ago, and he was talking about how he liked it. So I don't really want to just go into bad mouthing it. Well, he's not here to defend it, but, like, I hated that movie.
Yeah, it's very divisive. He definitely made some like some calls on there that I just do not agree with whatsoever.
But I also I don't care about the Force, and this trilogy was all about the Force.
Right. Well, at its core, it's supposed to be like future samurais, right? If you look at it like that.
Right, but it's like a supernatural thing, and I'm just like, I always compared the Force to religion, and I was like, no, these things aren't real. Like it's just not a real thing. You don't you don't manipulate physics because you have the mental power to lift your lights. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's more like a gift, though. It's more like you're born with it.
That makes it worse, honestly. So a comparison is season 4 of Stranger Things. Spoilers if you haven't watched it, but the fact that did you watch it?
Yeah.
So the fact that Vecna, or what's his face, Henry, was naturally gifted breaks so many aspects of the show for me. Because and then I know that's kind of silly to say because fucking MK Ultra was a bullshit conspiracy, but as a bullshit conspiracy theory, but like it's more grounded than a kid who's just naturally birthed into being able to move things with his mind. Like I don't know. That's where Stranger Things 4 really lost me. Is like, so this all started because this kid was just
Stop sucking the joy out of things.
That's what I do.
Stop it. Suspension of disbelief. You're going there to have a good time.
That ruins my suspension of disbelief. I can believe in something that's.
Who's your favorite superhero?
What?
Who's your favorite superhero?
Batman. I had to choose someone without powers.
But still, he has like truckloads of money, like infinite money glitch.
Bezos.
Bezos.
No. That's what ruined my suspension of disbelief, though, was the fact that this kid is just naturally gifted with these abilities. I'm like, that doesn't fucking happen. Like everyone else in the show was normal. 11 was the only one that was special, except for the other people who were like made in the experiment, and that's where that's where it gets problematic for me. Is because then we essentially have an X-Man. He was born like this, and unless they do some retconning in season 5 where he was also like somehow gifted this ability, like he's just the one special person on the fucking planet that can move things with his mind because he's a weird child. Like it came out of nowhere. It's like a red herring, and I'm like, you just broke all of your lore by having this kid with magic abilities naturally rather than someone who created them. Yeah, of course I said I had to. I was like, who's a normal person? But yeah, like I don't know. And like, if you enjoy the show, by all means. But like, I'm a nitpicker and a hater, so that's just what I do. Oh man, what time does the game start?
I believe it's like 8 o'clock.
It's that late?
Nah, well, it's pretty late. I know that. Hold on. What time does the Super Bowl start? 6:30. Yeah,
Okay,
this is gonna be like.
There's
yeah,
no
you're
way
not going
it's
to bed till
that
midnight.
late.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for it. I like the what watching a Super Bowl brings. You know.
Keeping it all topical.
Oh man.
Oh man.
All right. Let me see. Well, so is the next move the pinball machine, or do we move into the diorama?
Is it? What are you gonna do for that plastic cover?
That's easy. It'll just be kind of like the soda machine. So it'll just be a channel that you could slide it in.
I'm more so was asking what plastic you use, but you can just get all kinds of plastic.
Yeah, I use these. Here, I got it right here actually. These thin 12 by 12 sheets.
Oh, okay. Okay, doc.
I cut them up. This is what I used to use for the arcades, but I think laminating in that aspect is a much better way to go.
I'm interested.
for the phone booths and stuff.
So, damn, I'm really interested in seeing how you tackle a pinball machine.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be wild. I got some ideas. I think the problem with it last time I was trying to do it as a cavity for the body, and then 4 legs that were separate, and then like a whole another back piece. So I think the way I'm gonna do it now is just do sides flat with the legs already kind of printed in, and then make the
Yeah.
center a place how you snap it in. And then my idea for the lighting system, so you can always access it just in case, is a sliding back piece. Since kind of like a door, like a cover.
That's gonna be a really interesting project.
Yeah.
Because they have so many different lights and.
Yeah, so this will be kind of more plain Jane. It'll be lit on the bottom. So I'm planning on laminating a base that looks like the track and all that stuff. As much as I would like to do like a 3D printed track, I think that's just gonna be too hard.
Oh, I can do that. If you want me to do it, I can do it.
It would have to be out of resin, right? Because
dude, I'm already thinking about like how you'd essentially just make your own version of Mousetrap.
Right, exactly.
It'd be resin. It could be really cool. It could be. I'm just like thinking about different ways of approaching that, and then different ways to get different color lighting to go on, even if you're just having like the plastic and you just color it in so that the light shining through has like a red tint or a green tint or something like that. I don't know if you've experimented with that in the past though.
Sort of. I mean, we do that with the printed out screens. So the back of the pinball machine will just be a printed out screen with like the score and whatever game you're playing. And then the bottom will also be like this multicolored lit. It'll be like backlit just like this. So, I mean, as you can see with the arcades, the colors do pop. So I'm not worried about that too much. But we can't do flashing lights.
Because of the size and then just the availability of lights. Like, there are definitely things that we're not going to be able to implement. Sound is also another one that's kind of would be cool, but it's also kind of pointless in what we are going for.
Did I tell you that I priced out and checked the ability to actually make these arcades playable?
You didn't tell me.
I didn't tell you. Okay. So it would be roughly about $100 in parts. But they do make a screen that is roughly this size.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to create a bezel so that it snaps in a little bit better.
Yeah.
Then they do a like pre-wired circuit board that has sound and video and all that stuff. So
you have like the little controls. How does that work?
So check this out. So here's the plan for it. So you would do like a Raspberry Pi, which already includes Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, another USB ports. You'd plug that in, and then you would have a separate external controller that you could play the game on the screen.
That would be an amazing thing to do, like a very limited run of.
Very limited run. We're talking about I'd have to sell these for I think Numbskull sells them for $800. I think we'd have to sell them for like $400 because you're talking about time, labor, printing, the design process, decals,
programming,
some light programming, because you need to bring up an OS to enable to, and then tell it to automatically launch the game when you turn it on.
Although realistically, you could just make the arcade and then let people put what they want on the Raspberry Pi.
Well, at that point, they've already paid for it. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They could take out the memory card and put whatever the hell they want and put
a
ton of games on there if they wanted to. But,
man.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. You could make a playable pinball machine, too. Just take apart your pens. Oh, Pete, just take apart the pens, and you could use this little spring to launch the ball down the track.
You're scaring me, man. Too much,
dude. It's way too much. But that's what I like. I love Dude, I used to collect those keychain board games, and like Scrabble had letters, Mousetrap functioned. Like I used to love those shit. Battleship used to have the little ships and the pegs and stuff. There were only two boats, but dude, I used to love all those miniature keychain games. I used to collect the hell out of those. I had Barrel of Monkeys. Like, fuck, I had Trouble. I had a good amount of them. Damn, they were so cool. But yeah, I love miniatures. They're so much fun.
I was thinking, I don't know why this popped in my head. Could we do like a miniature board game?
It would be
Like-
really small, but yeah, we could absolutely do that.
1/12 scale, like make the board fold up and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, the things I used to collect were not intentionally created at that scale, but they would probably translate to that scale roughly. Like the Scrabble, let me see if I can just find a picture of it.
Imagine, because I was just thinking, like, how cool would it be to make like a 1/12 scale Ouija board that actually folds up and goes to a box when you're done? You got the little resin pointer, printed in clear, but then painted so it looks like it's a glass.
I think this is the one that I used to have. Yeah, I used to have this. It just folds open. There's a little drawer on the bottom, and then the letters come with it. Like it's so fucking cool. And I don't think I had Cooties, but I had Mousetrap and Battleship also. It was so much fun.
Oh wow!
Damn. Yeah. Here's another picture of it. That's a better picture to see the actual thing. But yeah, like, and then yeah, there's the little trays on the side so you can put your magnetic letters in there. It's so cool. Oh man.
That's so clever. $6.99. That's not bad either.
$5.10 shipping. But yeah, no, this other one. No, this one's $9.87. This one's brand new too. But just so much fun. Just stupid little shit. I love it. I absolutely love miniatures and stuff like that. It's just so cool to me. Yeah, we can look into that. I was also looking at this crate. We could also do. I don't know if we want to, but we could also look at doing like albums.
Yeah.
Like vinyl.
Yeah.
Just
I did that early on and it didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but
okay.
what I've learned throughout the years, I could do it much better this time around.
You could do your Precious First Slayer disc and then make the vinyl piece.
Exactly. But it was more so learning how to make nice circles in SketchUp. Because you know how they come out very blocky and then you have to manipulate them to smooth the edges and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I can make circles all day, any day in Blender, buddy. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Right. But other than that, I don't think I have anything else.
I'm going to do.
We're prepping for Awesome Con. We should be about 4 deep, from what I understand. So we got you and me being there. We got my sister-in-law, and then Chris is joining us as well.
Oh, isn't he awesome?
Yeah.
Nice. You see that? You see that, Chuck? The fuck out of here. I'm kidding. I know him personally.
That should be good, man. It should be a really good turnout. We're planning on bringing a nice amount of each type of arcade we sold. So that would be like the Star Wars, the light gun, X-Men, small and large ones, the 4 players. So we have 5 different ones. And then we're introducing the driving arcade for sale at Awesome Con. Exclusively there, just starting off. And then we'll eventually start creating the website listing for those after Awesome Con. But we'll have a variety of other props as well. That's all I had. So if you guys are in the DC area, come check us out.
Got this little champ running.
Oh, that is very cool.
I don't know if you could hear me at all.
Yeah.
I muted the audio on this thing so it didn't create an echo loop of death. But yeah, it's over there running like a champion.
It's awesome, man. If
Yep.
I kind of like, I'm wishing death on my other printers right now, just so I can go grab something new like that.
Dude, it's a great printer. It's so fucking good.
Stop talking about it so much.
I love it. I'm glad I'm single because my girlfriend would be jealous.
Well, you could probably 3D print something for that too, you know?
Something to win over a girl's heart on Valentine's Day? 3D print a rose?
It's eternal. It doesn't die.
Oh, don't say that. It'll fucking kick the bucket the moment it hears you talking that nonsense.
Sorry.
One other thing that I'm not a huge fan of the crates, if I can be critical, is that the bottoms normally have holes in them, and then they can stack normally, and this isn't stackable.
Ooh, so that was actually one of the first models that we started selling as Shadow Moses, and I paid somebody to do that.
Really?
Yeah, so we could actually revisit that. And I know either you or I could probably re-tackle this whole thing. Yeah, I think I paid the guy to design me an arcade, crates, and a crown for figures. The crown didn't work out because it was 3D printed. It should have been resin, and I wasn't into resin at the time. The crate was the only thing that worked.
I was about to say the arcades clearly didn't work.
His arcade idea did not work for me. I ended up scrapping his idea and reworking it myself, which is, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have learned how to use modeling software. So that's good. Or tolerances or half the shit that I know now. So
honestly, one of the things that does constantly worry me about designing is the tolerances of 3D printed things. And then with this printer, I'm a lot less concerned about it, but just the accuracy of like pieces that are going to interlock and everything is that threshold that I have to play with there. It always freaks me out a bit.
Yeah, it's typically at this scale, I notice a 30-second of tolerance is probably the best way to go. It'll give you a tight fit without being too tight.
Right.
But also not too loose where it'll just fall out.
Yeah. And another project that I am actually going to revisit is Solo Guy. I think inspired by when I was telling you I didn't really know what to print, you told me to look at print and place stuff. I think I'm going to try and do a print and place method of printing that actual thingamajig. I think I might look into doing that.
That's really cool, because then that saves you on supports, because you're basically making your own support within the usable items that you're making. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yep. But I think that's all I have to go over today. Anything for you?
No, nothing from me. We're just like I said, we're printing away. We're trying to slap decals on things. Our timeline, not that you guys care for AwesomeCon, is that we are printing nonstop for the last week and this week, into the third week. But that weekend, the third 2 weeks from now, we'll trying to get together to do like decals and cutting and shit for the whole weekend. We want to give ourselves a week off before we hit the con, so that way any last minute ideas that we have, we're not running around with like chickens, like with our heads cut off kind of thing.
One of the things that's nice about just being print farms right now is that if I'm not just getting stuff to start printing, then I at least have downtime to maybe work on designing some of these things that I've been thinking about lately, and also to just play Arkham Knight a third time. Otherwise, everybody enjoy the Super Bowl if you're watching it, and if not, then don't watch the Puppy Bowl because it's really dumb.
They still do the lingerie bowl? No,
I don't know anything about this.
Oh, I must have been back in the day. I don't know. I haven't been in touch with that stuff. But they used to.
I was about to say I have the wrong friends, but I am curious to see what kind of commercials or really trailers we get out of this Super Bowl.
Hopefully that Deadpool 3 trailer drops today.
We will have to be on alert for that. And then I actually have to talk to our friend Dan about that thing we were talking about before. about maybe doing that special monthly episode where we go over like movies and shows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
might add a new episode once a month.
Yeah.
Will we be doing commissions again? So any commission commissions for figures? I don't think we've ever done commissions for figures. We're not that cool and probably not that talented.
Just to answer in general, we stopped commissions only so we could focus on doing new stuff. So like we had the driving arcade that we just showcased today. We plan on doing a pinball machine, dioramas afterwards. And we find that commissions kind of hold up what we want to do. However, and I know I've said this, I've said it on live before, even though we've stopped commissions 100%, we still take in suggestions to see if it's something that we can knock out for you quickly. And if we have the capacity to do so, we're more than willing to help. So if you have a suggestion or something that you want to see, please send it our way. We could let you know, like, hey, this is a feasible thing that we could tackle. Or
worst case scenario is ask.
Yeah.
But there I do know that there would be times when you were taking pipe connections.
Oh, okay. Like
You mean,
the
like elbow
straws?
joints and stuff. I guess it depends on what you're using for pipes. But yeah, that's probably not impossible. That might be a resin thing. Depends on what they are. But send us a message. We might need some more information about what the actual thing is, but
we have a contact form on our website. Just be as descriptive as possible. Send pictures of what your idea is, and we can definitely look into it.
Yeah, we might have to get some measurements and stuff from you. Straws. Yeah, I figured it was straws, like stirring straws, or like actual like a fast food straw or whatever. So, yeah, shoot us a message. We have these little. If we could get what you're using, we have these measuring devices. I can't think of what they're called. That we can use to better assess the situation to make a judgment call. I know that there are things that people have suggested to us that actually were good ideas and they came to fruition, and it's something that we actually moved forward with. But I do remember when we were doing like specifically commissions for like a one-off item, there's a lot of back and forth that would happen sometimes. And like when we're spending more time when we're spending more time working out silly little problems and design choices, and I'm calling them silly little problems, but it essentially becomes such a time suck to spend looking at a disagreement in designs that if we're spending more time talking about the specific way something's going to be than actually designing it or moving on with the other products we have, it just gets too disruptive, and that's why we essentially moved away from commissions. It just became a problem. Oh, so you did the poker table. I didn't know that that's who this was. Bogart was the guy with the poker table. You that, Pete?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like when people buy this. Yeah, man, because everybody buys the arcades. I like it when people buy the other stuff too, because those are the ones that I'm more focused on. Like
one time I told you I thought it was weird that like arcades are the top seller, and you're like, suck a dick. And I more so meant like I just thought it's just a weird item. I'm glad that people enjoy them because they look great and everything. I'm just like, it's weird that people are buying arcades. I don't know.
I think because they're like not only a prop, but they could fill a room. Like they can make the diorama too. I don't know.
Well, also like our friend Dan saw the arcade, like one of the arcades, and he was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" Like he wanted one just because it's cool looking. Yeah. And I think that there is a certain appreciation for that, and like a Pepsi machine, or like honestly, even these speakers, like these things look fucking awesome. I didn't show you these ones; they came out really good, dude.
Yeah, those sold really well when Stranger Things was out, and Eddie Munson did his whole thing. and then the
Oh
pink
yeah,
skulls,
yeah.
the
Yep.
pink skulls just dropped right after that. So it was like guitar,
Yeah.
amps, everybody's getting that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I like doing the smaller stuff. Like the traffic light, I'm sad doesn't sell that well, even though like I poured months into that. Like, how do I get working?
I think one of the issues with stuff like that is that typically people are doing, because of the space requirement, they're doing interior diodes, because there's so many other things to think about if you're doing an exterior shot of a city. Like there's backgrounds, you need to be concerned with distance and everything else that you're capturing in that environment. And the street light came out really good, but they have to worry about everything surrounding that to be in scale and look good for the picture. So like I totally understand why outside things are tricky. And it's kind of curious to see, I'm kind of curious to see where things go as we have the HISS tank, we have that the Vala vehicle coming out, the Valicle as I call it. We have that coming out, which I pre-ordered. I figure if I'm going to talk shit about it, I have to be able to back it up or whatever. So I'm like, shouldn't have opened my mouth. But we also have the Vamp coming out. And like, these are specifically, I mean, you could probably do like a garage shot, but even that is so hard. The mech, the Void Cadet Gomez and his mech suit, that's an outside figure. And that's an outer space thing. So you maybe get some leeway with that because space can have a lot of negative space in the background to be redundant. You can have like a black backdrop with just some lights for stars or whatever. But like if it's a city, that's more complicated. And if you get an outside thing, if you're not comfortable with the scale of using like your front yard or going to a beach or something like that, there's a lot of different things you have to think about and how to work that out. And like, this is where my brain goes as I do all these designing things, because I'm like, do we really need to see the dials and like the radio station that's on it? No, we don't need to. I would love to design a vehicle with the trunk that opens and it has a full engine. You can lift that out with the hook and have fucking, what's his name? Lunkhead, that big fucker. Semantic Joe or whatever the hell his name is. Like I think about all these crazy in-depth things, but like, nobody's doing that. Yeah. So like I really need to dial it down and then cool my guns, because sometimes I go a bit nuts. Did I just excite Layla?
Maybe.
But yeah. Whew.
Oh. All right.
I think that's where we can end it. Everybody have a great Sunday. Have a good week. Thanks for coming in. Thank you so much for coming in the chat. We always appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Bogart, for supporting the channel. Just enjoying the cool stuff that we put
up. But yeah, shoot us an email about the pipe connections. And enjoy the Super Bowl if you're watching it. Have a good week, and we will see you next week at 8 normal time.
That's right.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
That's the wrong button.